Let me ask you this one quick thing on the sidebar on that. Trump is actually going to be speaking at a non-union facility. I don't understand how he can address union workers at a non-union facility and still come off as being pro-labor. It seems to me like, what are you trying to make a play for right to work? Like, what's going on here? Do you have any thoughts on that? If you can't talk about it, that's fine. I get it. But if you can.
No, I don't think that Trump is pro-labor. I mean, it's just that simple. He's got a history, a very, very long, sordid history of not paying his workers. He's got a lot of people kind of chomping at the bit, trying to get paid as it is now. It's not paying his lawyers. Yeah, as far as labor is concerned, it doesn't matter where he goes to speak. None of us are going to believe it.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And as far as labor is concerned, it doesn't matter where he goes to speak. None of us are going to believe it. Reporter Tina Desiree Berg spoke to two members of the UAW on Tuesday before President Biden was set to join the workers on the picket line.
It's very strange, you know, if he was trying to get with the union and you're going to a non-union shop, that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. So I don't know really what he's aiming for there.
The things that the Biden administration is trying to focus on is supporting unions and fighting climate change. There is a big push towards electric vehicles, and the Biden administration wants American workers to be at the forefront of that push as well. Donald Trump is set to speak at a non-union facility, which had the UAW workers scratching their heads. I don't understand how Trump can address union workers at a non-union facility and still come off as being pro-labor, said one of the workers.
Okay, so this is a quote that Trump made back in 2008 after you guys gave all of your concessions away. You literally bailed out your employers. They were facing bankruptcy. They came to you saying, if we don't get some concessions here, we're not going to be around. But let me read you this, because I think this is very telling. He said, unions get their little 5%, they get another 2%, they get another 3%, 4%. All of a sudden, they're making more money than the people that own the company. This was his comment 2 weeks after the deal you guys made back in 2008. Does that sound like a pro-union?
It's very strange.
Well, here's the thing. Once again, as we were discussing earlier, mathematically that doesn't add up in the slightest. I mean, you could make it 100%, 200%, 300%. We would still not be touching even remotely close to. I mean, literally, it's a fraction of a percent of these CEOs' pay. If you doubled my pay, it wouldn't be a fraction of what they make in like 10 or 15 minutes.
If you look at the labor data, CEO pay since 1978 has gone up over 1,300%.
The truth of the matter is that Donald Trump has a negative history with unions. Trump didn't do anything during a 40-day walkout at the General Motors plant in 2019, and he made it harder for workers to organize. In a recent video address to the auto workers, Trump encouraged them not to pay union dues and accused union leaders of having some deals going for themselves.
What's happening to our auto workers is an absolute disgrace and an outrage beyond belief. Auto workers are getting totally ripped off by crooked Joe Biden and also their horrendous leadership, because these people are allowing our country to do these electric vehicles that very few people want.
He also claimed he would raise their wages and protect their jobs, but he has never done so before. He's just blowing smoke. The Trump administration reversed several Obama-era rulings that made it easier for small unions to organize. There was also unfavorable rulings from the Supreme Court and unfulfilled promises of automotive jobs by Trump himself. Trump tried to reverse every Obama-era legislation that helped workers. His disastrous gutting of Labor Relations Board worked to undo safeguards that protected people because he didn't think of it first. He reversed laws that hurt the environment as well. Don't forget the train derailment disaster in Ohio. He reversed train braking safety protections, and look at what happened. These two auto workers are right to question Donald Trump. He would be a disaster for America's unions. For years, the union had given concessions to keep the company afloat. But when automakers have made billions in profit, they have not renewed their workers' contracts. Automakers can afford to raise workers' pay significantly to make up for what the union gave up in the past. Even a 100% pay increase wouldn't be a fraction of what executives make. It's hard to justify paying your executives so much while saying that there isn't enough money to go around to your workers. The difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump is that President Biden is a leader. He is a leader that understands that our country was built on the back of the labor movement, and he supports unions. Donald Trump is on the side of corporations and profit. He couldn't care less about struggling families or the environment. Donald Trump is a stooge, and that's striking auto workers, they know it. A second term for Donald Trump will be a disaster for America, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.